The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network. Any questions or concerns about what is said should be directed to the show host, whose information will be provided upon request.
Sports is what we do. It's the fast track at peak speed, moving across the ice, blockers, hitters, B-team, beatdowns, and knockouts, doubleheaders, playoffs, touchdowns, smackdowns, on the mat or on the track. The spirit of a champion. The triple-double. Make that double front flip. This is what we do.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Shane at the No BS, No Holds Barred Sports Talk Show. Is back in the building once again. It has been fun. I know y'all was missing me last week, but I had some fun things to do last week. So I want you guys to get ready, sit on your seats, get your coffee, get your breakfast, get your eggs, your bacon, your pancakes. Some of you who do chicken and waffles, like myself, get that ready too. So, that number to call is going to be 301-429-9247. That's going to be that number to call. It's about to get real. It's about to get interesting. So we just going to jump right to it. So, some of the topics we're going to talk about this morning is going to be, it's going to be right here. So, we're going to talk about the Poconos. We're going to talk about Javonte Davis, the NFL training camp, and also Golden Tate, how my man got suspended for trying to have a baby. Like, my man was trying to have a baby, and y'all gonna suspend my man's. Like, y'all just, the NFL straight up disrespectful. But hey, who am I? I'm just the guy that's just analyzing the situation. So, Pocono. Let's get into it. Pocono Raceway. NASCAR has been very, very fun. I can tell you, myself, Daryl Kinsey Jr., and also our amazing photographer Fran, all went. So we went to this NASCAR race, had an amazing time. So now I know a lot of people were wondering. Let's actually get to that Pocono Raceway slide. So some of the drivers so we're gonna go ahead and look at that. So this is Bubba Wallace. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of Bubba. Now, Bubba unfortunately didn't have exactly the best finish on this past Sunday. But I mean, obviously, the car looks great, ran great. Just unfortunately, they didn't get the runs that they wanted. And it was very unfortunate, but he ended up finishing 22nd in that race. So it is what it is, But here's what I can say about about this race. The main focal point about this whole weekend, especially talking with the truck drivers, because Ross Chastain, he won on Saturday in the Gander 150 for the outdoor truck. So he actually won, and and those truck drivers did not even use the PJ1. Now, if anybody who wants to know what the PJ1 is, PJ1 is a compound that they put on the track so that way it could give them more grip on the road. So that way they're able to maintain the speeds that they're able to go at. And then it also creates another lane for those drivers. So that way if they're coming off of a turn, they're able to keep that same grip, and that way they don't spin out and things like that. There's Bubba Wallace right there. Obviously he was walking across the track. Now, the winner of the race, Denny Hamlin. Let's go ahead and look at that. Let's go back, actually. So, there's Denny Hamlin right there. And there's his car right there, that Toyota Camry, and the number 11. And I actually, myself and Daryl, we were able to catch up with him and actually talk to him. And we asked him about the PJ1 and how it was a very good compound to put on the track. And I asked him if it was even a factor in his win, and he said yes. He absolutely said that it was a huge factor in his win because it allowed him to maintain speed. It allowed him to have a whole nother lane that he never had before at Pocono. And so with that being said, it was a huge factor into his win. And then on top of that, because the thing about Denny Hamlin, little do people realize, he actually was on the verge of not winning this race because of the fact that he was very, very, very low on fuel. He was so low on fuel, the dude was pretty much on fumes. And I know his team was highly concerned because I was actually standing next to them during the race. But they were very concerned about fuel. But he took a gamble. And it paid off. And it paid off. So he ended up winning the race. So congratulations to Denny Hamlin and the FedEx team and that number 11 car and that Toyota. And that's a really good thing for Toyota Camry because Toyota, they have been killing ever since they got into NASCAR. I mean, you know, some of these other drivers, they haven't really been able to do the things that they would like to do. But I can tell you right now that they most certainly are happy with the results. So we're going to take a look at the point standings real quick. So the top 5 drivers in that. So right now, Denny Hamlin obviously won Sunday's race. This is where he falls at. So he's at 722 points, okay? That was as of this past Friday. So this is where he stands at now. Their next race is going to be at the Glen. So if anybody who knows Watkins Glen, that's going to be Watkins Glen International Speedway. That's going to be up in upstate New York. So they're going to be at the Glen this weekend. Now I want you guys to understand something. I'm going to talk a little bit about Denny right now because Denny, obviously, he's number 4. 38-year-old driver. Okay? Anybody has any questions, please give me a call at 301-429-9247. That's going to be the number to call. And then, so what I've been saying is, and I've been saying this for the longest, is that Denny's been a huge advocate of the PJ1, a huge advocate of the PJ1. He thought, he was working. He said out of his own mouth that he's been working with NASCAR extensively to try to get that PJ1 onto the track because of the fact that it was helping drivers get a new lane that they never had before, and it allowed them to get good runs, especially on the front stretch of the speedway. What I mean by the front stretch, ladies and gentlemen, that's where the finish line is. So that's the front stretch. And then, of course, there's 2 other turns at Pocono, so there was only 3 turns, not 4 like like most normal tracks. So, but it allowed him to get some good traction coming onto the front stretch from turn 3. And so, if you actually Google what Pocono Raceway looks like, you could actually see what it looks like because it's a different type of oval track. Now, the great thing is about where they put the PJ1 at. They put it like near the top, head of the bank. In turn 3, so that's where they were able to put the PJ1, and they put like a whole, a couple of 100 feet of it, and they put a good amount of it on the track, so they was able to do that, and it looked pretty good, and I had an opportunity to actually get in the pace truck with Daniel Hemrick, and and he was able to take us around in the pace car, so that was pretty good. And we was able to find out some things about that track and actually feel like, what it is to be with a NASCAR driver and what they're seeing on this track. So, the great thing is like I said, this is what happened. Then you got Kevin Harvick at number 3. Kyle Busch is at number 2. And then Joey Logano's number 1 still. Now, for Kyle Busch, I have to mention this because, Kyle, if you're watching this, I know how frustrated you were because you had an opportunity to finish top 5 and you ended up finishing 9th. I mean, you kind of made a mistake, brother, but it happens. It happens, But as you can see the cars that's even in the top 10. So you've got right here, 3 cars in the top 5 that are Camrys and only 2 Fords. Joey Logano's killing in that Ford Mustang. So isn't Kevin Harvick. But then you got Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch in the Camrys. And then, of course, Brad Keselowski with the Ford, and then Kurt Busch, and then Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, unfortunately, wasn't able to finish because this dude wrecked his car for the love of God. I don't know how he did that. It is what it is. There's nothing anybody can do about it. But, you know, he wrecked his car. First off, the dude wrecked his car even in practice the day before. He wrecked his car in practice, and then he wrecks it again during the race. So it's just like, you know, it just wasn't Chase Elliott's day. And then Kyle Larson, he had to go to the backup car. Now, Kyle Larson, you're not seeing him right here. But Kyle Larson definitely had wrecked his car in practice. But he went to the backup car, still ended up with a top 10 finish. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. And Kyle Larson, we were able to catch up with him as well and talk about the fact that he went to the backup car. He loved what he got out of the backup car and how he planned on and how he loved how his team responded to the fact that his first car was out. And then he just raced this past weekend in the sprint car, so he went back to the dirt tracks to go race some more. So on top of NASCAR. So some drivers, so little do people realize who actually watch NASCAR, they don't just do, asphalt motorsports. They also do dirt track racing as well. So it was a pretty good weekend. I mean, I love what I saw out of the drivers. I mean, hopefully we can see we'll see some more at the Glen this weekend. But this is where they are right now. And like I said before, congratulations to Denny Hamlin, and thanks for talking to us at WBGR Sports. I have to say NASCAR in general and Pocono Raceway has been an amazing event. So hopefully, we'll hear from these guys a little bit more very soon. So it was very great. Thank you. Real quick, folks, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, we're going to have some more stuff to talk to you guys about this morning. So don't go anywhere on the No BS Show.
Hello and welcome back to another Breakfast Mojo. I'm your host, Comedian Coy, and we're about to eat some breakfast. So come on, follow me. It's already set up. This is what I heard, so I have no idea what's expected. All I know is it's breakfast food, so let's see what it is. I have no idea what it is, folks. No idea. No idea. Here we go. Oh, wow, look at this. Legends. Okay. They got the thing all set up here. It's chicken and grill. So we're going to see what the chicken is right now on the Breakfast Mojo. What do we have here? Chicken. And what else do we have here? Okay, waffles. Okay. So the chicken kind of threw me off because I'm like, it's breakfast. Hello, this is a Breakfast Mojo. Chicken and waffles. Got my syrup here. Should have been blindfolded when I was doing this breakfast. But let's see what it's like here. Wow, looks good. It cuts easily. Got a little white powder on it. Some butter. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see what it's looking like. At least you could have had the fork and the knife match each other. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. Let's see what it's like here. Here we go. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Let's see what the chicken is like here. Got, some of y'all are saying, why don't you just pick it up and eat the thing? You know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. So we got the... Very basic. Nothing fantastic. I wonder if I can do 2 reviews. One for the chicken and one for the waffle. I actually like the waffle. I think the waffle is very good. The batter is very, what do you say? A little bit on the sugar side. The chicken, on the other hand, could be a lot better. I'm not really happy with the chicken as much. I don't think the chicken actually makes the waffle any better. I think the waffle actually complements the chicken. You know what I'm saying? So for my review, I will say breakfast brilliant for the waffle and breakfast blah for the chicken. Could probably do it separately. So that's all the review that we have. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look, what is your favorite waffle place? Do you have a chicken and waffle spot that you normally go to that you can recommend? If you do, write it in a comment. Let folks know, okay? Don't forget to subscribe. Breakfast Mojo. Take care.
And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to talk to you guys about this man above me, Gervonta Davis. Look, I'm probably not even going to touch on this too much because you know it's really mind-boggling to me why everybody's surprised. Let me tell you why I'm not surprised that Gervonta Davis knocked this dude out second round. Because the truth is, there's really nobody that can box with this dude. Like, if people don't understand like how tough this dude is, you're about to find out really quickly that he ain't that dude to kind of mess with. Like, guy's a super featherweight. Okay? Guy's a super featherweight. He's been killing. Okay? Got 21 knockouts, 22 wins. Now he called out now he just called out Lomachenko. Now this is gonna get funny. Let me tell you why this is gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny because we're really gonna stop that. I mean, the truth is this dude. I mean, and it was great for the DMV. I will definitely say that it was very good for the DMV, especially Baltimore City, because I mean, the truth is it's his hometown, it's his home turf. You know, box at the Royal Farms Arena. Beat the brakes off, dude. I mean, we already knew what it was. And, you know, I said I don't understand, like, why people thought that this dude was not going to knock him out. I thought dude was going to get knocked out first round, let alone second. But, I mean, that's what happened for the past two fights for Gervonta. You know, it's been either he feels him out first round, fills him out real quick. And then second round, knockout. There's a reason why this dude is called the Tank. Because, I mean, he just gives you that one hit quitter, and that's the end of that. I mean, that's just it. That's game. And, you know, for those who pay for those tickets, well, I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing anybody can do about it. I mean, it is what it is for those tickets. Because at the end of the day, there ain't nothing anybody can do about it. The truth is, Gervonta Davis is a dog. We haven't seen a fighter like this since Floyd. I mean, that's just what it is. Now, and the thing is, I mean, there were other boxing matches that night, but obviously Gervonta was the headliner, and then obviously the headliner brought what he was supposed to bring to this fight. I mean, you know, watching the highlights, I already could tell that Nunes, he never had a shot. He didn't have a shot. There was no way he was going to beat this dude. No way. I don't even know why he even stepped in the ring. I mean, at some point, you got to put somebody in front of Gervonta that's going to go the distance. And honestly, at this point, the best fighter in the featherweight division is going to be Lomachenko. So we're going to see how that works. Now, if Lomachenko steps up and these two fight, that's going to be a good fight to watch. I can't wait to see that, because the thing about boxing, right now, we don't have too many fighters that's really going to be doing too much, because Wilder, we got to figure out where he's going to be at soon. Then we already know that Floyd is training in Florida, and there's a likely chance he might fight Pacquiao again. But that's unconfirmed. So there might be a huge chance that he might be fighting him. So right now, you know, these fighters, you know, is going to be really, really interesting to watch. And it would behooved if you had Gervonta fight Lomachenko the same night that Floyd fights Pacquiao. I think those would be some good fights in the same night. And let's just say, and then Wilder, well, he'll probably fight on his own time. But I think that would be a really good, like, two headline fights in the same night. I think that would be an idea for WBA, WBO, and WBC to even consider, because now you can think about, like, let's have a double-header headline. Can't beat that, because then you'll have two big fights in the same night. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to be thrown around right there. I mean, and you got options right there. You know, you got the young boy from Baltimore City that's destroying dudes, and if not the first round, at least the second round. And you got Mr. Floyd himself, the GOAT, one of the GOATs of our time, and having him go up against another GOAT and Manny Pacquiao. I mean, why not? Why not make that fight happen? That's what I would do. That's just me, though. So, and I think that would be a good idea. So, you know, and what, because boxing has changed over the years. It's definitely changed over the years. It's definitely been in a different situation. It's definitely been at a point of who can stop any of these fighters that are really great right now. See, Alvarez, we already know he's been kind of quiet. Triple G's been kind of quiet, but we're going to see where that goes. And Wilder, well, you know, I think that there's probably going to be a rematch between him and Tyson Fury very soon. I will not be surprised by that, just because of the fact that we gotta see what's going to go down with that. Now, Andy Ruiz. Now, this dude's a little off right now. This dude's talking about he wants to fight Deontay. Yeah, good luck with that. You're not going to fight Deontay Wilder or Fury anytime soon, but that is what it is. And now Tyson is going to he's going to actually fight somebody else before he has to fight Deontay Wilder again, because he wants basically kind of a warm-up fight, you know, before he has to fight Wilder again for the rematch. Now, that's going to be very, very good. And Wilder is already calling him out, saying that he's going to lose this rematch. So it's going to be interesting. But for Gervonta Davis, I like what I see from him. I like what I think is going to happen next, because here's what I see happening. He fights Lomachenko. And we're going to see how this works. He already called him out, said it's time. It's time for him to fight. If those two fight, okay, it's going to be very, very interesting. And the thing about Lomachenko, you know, they already said they feel like he's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the game of boxing. But at the same time, we probably won't see this fight, honestly, until 2020. That's the time we'll probably see this fight. So that's just it. Now, if Gervonta ends up having another fight before the end of the year, then that's a different story. But I don't think we're going to see that fight until 2020, probably early 2020, probably sometime in January, maybe February, just because football will still be going on at that time. So we'll see what happens. And then if that fight does happen in January, I can tell you right now, it's going to be the fight to see. You know, and because Gervonta, to me, has brought glory to the featherweight division. I never would have thought like the little guys would be the guys that, you know, that anybody would look at, because everybody always looks at like the middleweight division, or like the heavyweight division, or the light heavyweight, or even the cruiserweight divisions, because those are the bigger guys. But now you've got this featherweight division that has shown that there's some fighters in there that we can all look at. So it's going to be very interesting to watch. But congratulations to Gervonta Davis and then especially the Royal Farms Arena at hosting this event. It was a very good event, and it lived up to the hype. We already knew that Gervonta Davis was probably going to win this fight anyway. We knew that. It is what it is. There's nothing else to really say about it except that, you know, congratulations to Gervonta Davis. So there's that. Real quick, folks, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, I got some more stuff to talk to you guys about this morning. So don't go anywhere on the No BS Show.
Hello and welcome to the Breakfast Mojo. I'm your host, Comedian Koi. We are back. Once again, this time it's King versus Clown. The Clown, which we're talking about here, is none other than McDonald's hotcakes. And now we're going to also try the Burger King sweet syrupy stacks. Look at the box. Isn't that cute? Little box. All right, so we're going to try and see which is going to be the preferred pancakes, McDonald's or BK, Burger King. Yeah, so it's nice and hot. So let's see what happens here, folks. Let's see what I'm going to give a review. So they come with 3 stacks, as you can see. 3. Oh, look at the syrup just oozing. Okay. Let's try this. Let's make a comparison. I need some water. these are falling apart. McDonald's, they didn't fall apart at all, but these are can't really keep their form after pouring syrup on them. There's definitely a distinct taste between the two of them. Similar, but yet distinctly different. But I noticed that Burger King pancakes are a lot more sweeter by itself. The syrup, it really doesn't need syrup. It really does taste like a cake, literally. McDonald's, on the other hand, really not much to go off of. It just tastes like bread. It's really your preference, folks. Do you want hot bread? Or do you want a stack of cakes? Because that's what it tastes like to me. So here's for my review. I'm gonna give this a breakfast booty. I'm gonna give it a breakfast booty. It's a breakfast booty. And I'm gonna give McDonald's a breakfast blah. Because there's really nothing fantastic, even with the syrup added to it. And even without the syrup, there's really nothing fantastic. I could at least say that BK does have a distinct taste without the syrup, which is more sweet, if that's what you prefer. So, would it be the McClown or would it be the King? Let us know at the Breakfast Mojo on WBGR Entertainment. I'm your host, Comedian Coy. We'll have some more stuff coming your way. We're gonna even visit a chef that's gonna cook for us, and we're gonna eat it, huh? Because that's what we do at the Breakfast Mojo.
What's going on, y'all? I'm back. So, NFL training camp, Hall of Fame game. Everybody knows that training camp is still going on. Preseason has started. So, the Hall of Fame game, it was a very good ceremony, by the way. Seeing all these guys get inducted, especially my favorite Patriot of all time, Ty Law from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. That is my boy. Love me some Ty Law. Everybody who knows me knows when I play football and I play corner, that was my idol growing up. I've always loved Ty Law because I thought he was one of the most physical corners I've ever seen. And I remember the season where he got 10 interceptions. I mean, it was just utterly ridiculous. Some of the things that he did was just great for this game, but it was good to see him get that gold jacket. But let's talk about the Hall of Fame game itself. So it was Denver versus Atlanta. Now Atlanta obviously didn't play all their starters. They're crazy, not stupid. And so let's talk about what we've seen. So so as far as the Broncos won the game 14-10, but in the final seconds, Brett Rypien, one of the backup quarterbacks fighting for a roster spot, had threw the game-winning touchdown. To my man Juwann Winfree, and it was a nice little 15-yard catch, so congratulations to that team. Falcons, I mean, it's just preseason, nothing to worry about. I mean, these guys are just fighting for roster spots, trying to see what their teams look like, how their offenses look like in this game. And then Drew Luck went 7-11 to 30, for 34 yards, so I'm not concerned with that because of the fact that everybody, when you look at the whole Broncos team, they threw for a little over just under 110 yards as a whole team, so they didn't really throw the football that well. But then they gave a lot of carries to Devontae Jackson and also a lot of carries to Khalfani Muhammad. Now Khalfani Muhammad ended up punching in the first score, so he ended up getting a touchdown with only 7 carries, 50 yards. Averaging 7.1 yards per carry. And so that was the end of that. I mean, they're looking pretty decent. And then Trey Johnson also fighting for a roster spot, especially since, cornerback right now for the Denver Broncos is kind of up for grabs because of the fact that, Bradley Roby's not there. You only got one they got is Chris Harris. I mean, Keith Talib is gone, so they're going to be looking to do a couple of things. So there's that, and then of course for the Falcons, I mean Matt Schaub is going to be back up to Matt Ryan. I mean, it is what it is. He went 4-14 for only 10 yards, and he threw an interception. Not good numbers if you're Matt Schaub. And that is not good at all. Then you got this young kid named Kurt Benkert, 19 of 34, 19 completions, 34 on 34 attempts. He threw for 185 yards and a touchdown pass to at least have the Falcons in some type of position to win the football game, which is not good for Matt Schaub. So that, I mean, if you're Matt Schaub, you might want to show up next game. Make sure that you get your reps in practice. That way you could still have that roster spot, because at this point you're not guaranteed your roster spot in your career. At this point in your career, so there's that. So, but defensively, now this is where it gets funny. The Falcons had quite a bit of sacks. I mean, they had 4 sacks the whole game. Actually, 3 sacks the whole game, and like 2 tackles for loss. So it is what it is. So I always tell people that, look, this has been a fun game to watch. I'm sorry, 4 tackles for loss. So they've been really like getting in there. They've just been getting at it. That's just what it is. And I've seen a lot of good play from that Falcons defense. Now that's going to be good going forward because of the fact that you got Vic Beasley, you got all these guys on the D line that can go get the quarterback. I'm going to be excited to see what goes on in this NFL for this Falcons team. Now the problem is they still got to contend with the New Orleans Saints, so I don't really trust them to do that. It is what it is. But they're getting everybody back healthy. Now, what's concerning about the Falcons, highly concerning, is Julio Jones. Because Michael Thomas just got his cheese. He got 5 years, $100 million, and that man held out. But the Falcons, this man didn't hold out throughout the entire training camp. And yet and still, you ain't paid a man? Falcons, y'all disrespectful. Y'all disrespecting my man. How you gonna disrespect Julio Jones like that? Y'all need to come up with a deal. Y'all need to come up with a deal fast. Because I can tell you right now, teams are gonna want to pick him up. Period. They're going to want to pick him up. This dude ain't no bum. Hasn't been a bum. Never is, and he's just been balling ever since he got into the NFL. So for anybody to not give him what he's worth, that's sad. And that says a lot. Like, the message you're sending is, well, we appreciate you not holding out and you fulfilling your contract, but, we know what kind of caliber receiver you are. We know that, but, we also have to take into factor age. And then I got, these young guys right behind you. Calvin really didn't even have 1,000 yards last year. He didn't even have 1,000 yards. I would have understood if he would have had 1,000 yards, but if he would have had 1,000 yards, then we'd be having a different conversation. So it is what it is. I mean, Julio, all I can say is this. They don't want Julio to leave Atlanta. I don't think y'all want that. Because if Julio leave Atlanta, there's a lot of teams that could use him. There's a lot of teams that could use him. I don't even want to think about the teams that could use him. The Texans could most certainly use him. I don't even want to think about Aaron Rodgers getting him, but that would be bad. I don't even want to think about the LA Rams getting him, because that would be even worse. I mean, ain't nobody would stop the Rams at that point. That team would just be too loaded. I mean, that's like you'd have like at least 5 receivers over 1,000 yards. It'd be ridiculous, because then you got Cooper Kupp, Brandon Cooks, and then you got Sammy Watkins too, with Robert Woods. And you add Julio Jones to that mix, they got too much depth at wide receiver. It'd be ridiculous. Ain't nobody gonna wanna. It would be ridiculous. I wouldn't even want to know the kind of goofiness of what would happen. Or let's just say the Chargers want him. That would be that added pressure to take off of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Ain't nobody gonna stop that. I mean, Phillip Rivers could use another receiver. I mean, I'm just saying. Or even Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson could use a receiver. Look at Doug Baldwin, because he gone. Because DK Metcalf ain't gonna cut it. DK Metcalf ain't gonna cut it. But if they got Julio, oh, that would be ridiculous. The same Falcons, you better listen to me. You better listen carefully. You might want to make sure this man is signed. You might want to make sure that man is signed. Because if he ain't signed, you're going to have some very serious problems, in the future. You're going to have some very serious problems. Okay? So, and then let's also look at the facts. Let's also look at look at the Broncos. Broncos fans, I get it. Y'all are rebuilding. I think that y'all got some pieces that y'all could work with, but you definitely need a quarterback. Y'all get a quarterback, y'all might have a different conversation, and I honestly think that, you guys would be a pretty decent football team. Now, you're probably not going to beat the Raiders, because I think the Raiders this year are going to be a lot better football team. And the Chiefs, well, the Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs. Ain't nobody going to stop Patrick Mahomes. And it looks like there's no discipline coming Tyreek Hill's way, except for maybe from the commissioner. And although we all know how this commissioner is, we know how he do. We all know that he's just not the type of guy to, be him. That's just what it is. So there's that. So with that being said, who gonna stop him? And so right now, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the AFC East training camp. So right now, Brian Flores has got his defense looking a little bit better. We're going to see how they look in preseason. Patriots fans, I want you guys to understand, Julian Edelman is out. But there's so many different receivers the Patriots have. Now, the Patriots, they have so much depth at wide receiver that I don't know what they're going to do. I honestly don't know what they're going to do. There's just so many receivers they have so much depth at. I just don't even know what they're going to do, because they got N'Keal Harry that they drafted in the first round. Then they got Josh Gordon, who might be coming back, and they don't know when he's coming back. Then with Demaryius Thomas, he's going to start on PUP. Now, PUP means physically unable to perform, for those of you who don't understand what PUP means. So with that being said, you're going to have, the Patriots going to have to figure out what they're going to do. And then they got this kid on Jacoby Myers, he's looking pretty good. Then there's another kid, Harris, he's looking is very good as well. So the thing is in training camp, so we're going to see what they look like in preseason. And then, of course, Brian Hoyer is the backup quarterback to Tom Brady. And then Danny Etling, I think he's going to be a very good kid for the New England Patriots. If I'm the Patriots, I would carry 3 quarterbacks this season. I would carry 3 quarterbacks because of the fact that, again, I love Tom Brady. Everybody who knows me love Tom Brady, but we don't know what he's going to look like during the regular season, just because we don't know if Father Age is going to catch him yet. Now, in training camp, he looks amazing. He looks like Tom Brady. Again, we just got to see what he's going to look like regular season. So there's that. Now, then there's a lot of depth at running back, because they got Damian Harris, they got Sonny Michel, they got James White. They got so many different pieces. I mean, I don't even know. And then now they got good tight ends, but Ben Watson has been suspended for the first 4 games of the season due to the league's substance abuse policy. So there's that. So there's an opportunity. So he'll come back week 5 versus the Redskins. So we'll see that. Buffalo Bills. I like Josh Allen. I just don't trust your receivers, because your receivers are trash. You haven't had no good receivers since Chris Hogan left and Sammy Watkins left. So there's that. I don't trust it. And, running backs, you got Shady McCoy. Congratulations, but, it is what it is. So we'll see how the Bills look. Then let's look at the New York Jets. The Jets, not so... I don't know how I feel about these boys. I guess I can say how I feel about them. The Jets, I like Sam Darnold, and I like Le'Veon Bell. I just have to see more from this team. You lost a lot of guys on defense. A lot of them went on to other teams. Look at the fact that, you got my man, Purnell. He just went to the Patriots. He's a big defensive tackle at 6'4", 332 pounds. And, running like a 4'9", 4'8", 40. So he's looking pretty solid there. So with that being said, the Jets is going to be looking to have to try to fill those voids, and then they're gonna have to have a different mindset now, because now it's gonna be all offense, because we all know Adam Gase does not preach defense. He does not preach his offense all day, like score as many points as possible, and then hopefully the defense will put a stop to it. See, the Patriots and the Dolphins, I think those are going to be the two teams to beat in the division. The reason why I'm saying that is because the Dolphins, with Brian Flores being there, especially after what he did in the Super Bowl and how he coached all the way up until the very end, and he coached very, very well. It held the Rams team to literally 3 points in the Super Bowl. That told me everything I needed to know about Brian Flores. So I think he's going to be a great head coach for them, coming from that Patriot staff, bringing that Patriot way to the Miami Dolphins. I think Dolphins fans can hate the Patriots all they want, but you ended up getting a Patriots coach. So essentially, you're going to have to just respect the Patriots, because that's what because that's what the Patriots do. They breed good coaching. And now you got a Patriot coach who's now the head coach of your team. So embrace the Patriot way, because it works. Just saying. So there's that. So Brian Flores, I think the Dolphins and the Patriots are probably going to go at it for the division this year. I think it's going to be a division to watch, because the Dolphins, they have some pretty decent pieces. They'll probably they'll smack everybody else in the division, just because, let's be real, the Bills is going to be bums again. And the Jets, I think they'll finish 8-8. I just think they're going to finish 8-8, because they're good enough that they get good enough where they can finish with those pieces. But I don't think they're going to definitely, do too much damage. I'm not too worried about the New York Jets. But the Bills, they're going to be trash. They're probably going to finish 3-13. And if they don't finish 3-13, at the very worst, they're definitely finishing 1-15. That team just doesn't seem like they have any heart anymore. It doesn't seem like they want to play anymore. It just doesn't seem like they even want to play. I'm not saying they don't want to play football anymore. I'm not going to go that far, because they still want to play ball. I just don't think that they're going to want to. I don't think their heart is in winning right now, because they're not where they would like to be. So, AFC North, y'all have fun this year. Because I don't want none of that smoke. The Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers, y'all have fun. Because the Bengals, y'all ain't going to be doing too well. The best thing that's going to be happening to y'all is Joe Mixon. Especially since AJ Green out, y'all have fun with that. Let me know how that goes. So, it's just going to be between Steelers, Ravens, Browns. Simple as that. AFC West, well, I think it's just going to come down to the Chargers, Raiders, and Chiefs. The Broncos, I don't think they're going to be a good football team this year. I got them going 5-11. I just don't think they're going to be that good. I think the Raiders will be better this year, but I don't think they're going to be great. I think they'll probably finish 9-7 or 8-8 as well. The Chargers will probably get a wild card spot, because they're just a good football team. If they don't finish 11-5, they'll definitely get 12-4. And then the Chiefs, I got them going 14-2. One of those losses coming from New England, of course. And the other loss, I think they're going to probably lose to the Chargers. So I think those will be their only 2 losses of the season. But I think they're probably going to win 14 games. I think that Patrick Mahomes is a very good quarterback. I like what I saw last year. But now that everybody has film on him, we're going to see how good he really is this year. And then and we don't know what's going to happen with the Tyreek Hill effect. So we'll see what happens with that. AFC South, Texans, easy. Not even thinking about it. I got the Houston Texans win the division. I got the Colts right behind them, though. The Titans, don't trust them. I think their defense is a little shoddy, because they're up and down. And I think that, they got to focus on their running game a little bit more, especially with Derrick Henry, because they don't give him enough carries as they should have. I mean, he still got 1,000 yards, but he had less than 200 carries. I'm like, you got to get this dude at least 260, 270 touches a season. You have to. You got to let him touch that football. Let him touch that put his hands on the ball. Let him put his hands on that ball, and he's good to go. Simple as that. Now, NFC, I got the Saints. Probably, they're going to be on a mission this year. They're not going to have what happened last year. I think the Saints, arguably, to me, and everybody's going to call me crazy, I think they're going to go 15-1. I think the Saints are going to go 15-1, and I think they're going to have the best record in the NFC. I think they're going to finish 15-1, and I think the Rams will finish behind them with 13-3. I think the Cowboys will finish 12-4. And I got the and then of course in the NFC North, I've got the Bears finishing 12-4 as well, but they're probably going to get the 4th seed. However, I believe this. I think the Cowboys are probably going to see the Saints in the NFC Championship, and A lot of people gonna call me crazy. I know I'm gonna be called crazy. But I got the but if the Cowboys see the Saints in the NFC Championship, the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. I just like the way the Cowboys look. I mean, the Eagles will probably get a wild card, but I don't trust the Eagles yet because I don't trust Carson Wentz. I don't believe he's gonna stay healthy. I think he might find a way to get hurt. I think something's weird is gonna happen where he might get hurt again. Now, if he stays healthy, then the Eagles will be a pretty formidable team to watch, especially with the addition of Jordan Howard and Deshaun Jackson. I like the way they look. And then, Deshaun Jackson still running a 4.38. And then you got Jordan Howard at 6'1", 224 pounds. You got a big back, running for them. And then, you got the big man, Alshon Jeffrey, 6'3", 230 pounds. I know he lost a little bit of weight. I think he actually dropped to 220. I'm sorry. And so there's that. I mean, we'll see how that goes. Big headline. I know a lot of people don't know this, but Tom Brady put on some weight. So he went from 225 to a little over 230, 231 pounds. He said he cited the reason for putting on weight is so that way he can absorb hits in the NFL, especially since he was like wondering how he's going to absorb those hits as he's getting older and still playing at a high level. And with Brady still playing at the high level that he's playing, I could get why he wants to put on weight because of the thing. Now, the biggest story coming out of New England, though, the Patriots have not started contract talks with Tom Brady. He's in the final year of his contract. They have not started contract talks with him. So, with that being said, we're going to have to see how this looks. We're going to have to see how this looks because he's been in New England all his life, all of his career. So we're going to see how this looks. So if he ends up, not getting a contract at the end of the year, which I don't foresee happening. I do foresee the Patriots trying to resign him, but we're going to see how that goes. So there's the end of that. So this is going to be a wild NFL season. And I think that, I think what people are going to have to see is how this is all going to go. And I'm pretty excited about it. So we'll see what happens. Now, in the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about my man Golden Tate. I think this is probably arguably one of the most heartbreaking situations that I've seen in a long time because you know what bothers me about this whole situation? You're penalizing a man for trying to have a child. Try to have a kid. And you're going to say that he's doing it to, I guess, cheat the game. I'm very, very confused here. Maybe somebody can tell me. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a guy that's analyzing it. But Golden Tate doesn't strike me as a guy that would purposely. I think that what bothers me the most is you're going to really sit here and say that this man was substance abusing by basically saying that he was trying to gain an advantage. Gain an advantage in what? He was trying to have a kid. He's trying to have a child. And if you're telling me that, that if you're trying to tell me right now that he was violating the league substance abuse policy and things like that, and I'm like, you come on now, like the man was just trying to have a kid. He was just trying to have a kid, come on, like let's not even try to make it seem like this guy was just like, oh, let's wake up one day and try to impose some fines and suspensions for what? The man was just having some fertility treatment. The NFL is way too inconsistent. It's been inconsistent forever. Honestly, and I've been saying this for the longest time, Roger Goodell, he has to go. They need a new commissioner. Or if y'all not going to get a new commissioner, what I would suggest is when the CBA comes up and you have to go up for that CBA, which expires in about 2020. Okay, after the 2020 season, I firmly believe that these players need to sit down and talk to the commish and be like, look, man, we're going to have to take away some of that power. You got too much power. It is what it is. And, and everybody could say that, I'm like, these guys are responsible young men. And it's not fair to them, that they got to be subjected to this madness of Roger Goodell. I'm sorry. If you're expecting me to believe that this man, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Do y'all? I don't get it. And like, I think what's even more sad is there's been players many times throughout this entire NFL, including Julian Edelman, who do certain things and then they get, they take a drug test, they fail it because that's what the drug test is looking for, and then all of a sudden, oh, he's trying to cheat. How do you know he's not trying to use it for a medical reason? And then they'd be like, well, okay, we'll reduce it to like 2 games or something, but he's got to have some type of punishment. Why should a player have to get punishment for doing something that he's supposed to be doing for his own personal life? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I mean, if he has the medical documentation to prove it, that's all that matters. Now, if you want to fine him for not properly notifying the NFL of his plans, which to me doesn't make sense because, again, it's his personal life. And I get it, you're an employee of the NFL, but this is your personal life. These are things that the NFL does not need to know. I mean, I'm sure there's a HIPAA violation somewhere. But I'm sure some NFL league guy is going to say, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not a HIPAA violation. Well, it kind of is, because you're trying to pry into this man's life about fertility treatment, and therefore it's none of your business unless you get a subpoena. It's none of your business. This man was just trying to have a kid. It's between him and his woman. Him and his lady. Simple as that. And you're going to penalize a man for having a kid? Really? Really, NFL? That's the message you're sending? Yep, I am calling out the NFL on this. I'm going to call them out until the end of the earth. There's no reason why that man should be penalized for this. No reason why that man should be penalized for it. But hey, who am I? I'm just the guy that's analyzing the situation. So, there's that. And so, but this has been the inconsistency of the NFL. And this just goes back to that. I mean, even in the collective bargaining agreement, it's like, come on now. Like, what is a guy supposed to do? Because one of the things that I have said, over and over and over again, the thing that gets me is, like, what are players supposed to do? So on page 175, okay, page 175, now this is the thing that gets me. So players' rights to medical care and treatment. So, they have their team consultants, nutritionists, doctor-patient relationship, stuff like that. But the thing is, so reading the CBA is basically the same as HIPAA. Is it the same thing? Now, the thing is, the NFL, I don't know why you're trying to pry into that man's life. But if he's already submitted the records, then why are you penalizing him for doing his job? This is right there in your CBA on page 175, Article 40. It's right there. And that's regarding medical records, coverage, stuff like that. You can go back to even page 172 and 171 and page 170 starting in Article 39. I think that this is crazy to me. Y'all just violating the players' rights all kinds of ways. You're violating your own agreement. You're violating your own agreements and whatnot. So this is what it is. And so I've gotten to that point where I don't even know what to say to the NFL except the fact that you've got to remain consistent across the board. You have to do that. You can't sit here and penalize a player based on that. You know, and how many other players been penalized for substance abuse, for, you know, things that they were just trying to, you know, get done, you know, and it's really, really, really sad. Now, there's some players that's like, all right, you know, I get it. You know, if they're doing like, you know, marijuana or something like that, that's a different story. I get that. But, you know, that's just what it is. And then, you know, there was Dwayne Bowe for marijuana. I mean, I get that. Brandon Bonner, you know, a lot of other guys. But when you got guys like this man, he's just trying to have a kid. Come on. You know, I just think that this is crazy. You know, even Wes Welker. I mean, now he took amphetamine. They gave him a 4-game suspension, but he vehemently denied it. And then, you know, of course, again, the NFL upheld it. It is what it is. NFL's got to remain consistent, simple as that. And there's really nothing else to say about it. And, you know, and like I said, we'll see what happens. You know, the thing that gets me is I remember even Richard Sherman, you know, they tried to suspend him for taking Adderall. Didn't take it. Didn't even take the suspension. He fought it. He won. Simple as that. Players, you got to fight. You can't allow the NFL just to do whatever they feel and just do whatever they want. It's honestly that simple. And like I said before, you know, it's sad that this even happened. And it's sad that, you know, that a guy who's just trying to start a family can't even take the very simple drugs that, you know, this doctor prescribed him to use in order for him to have that child. And, you know, the NFL is straddling what I like to call a slippery slope. Because, see, the problem is, if you're sending this message, then how is that going to look to families who are having trouble having children? That, dang, like, I'm going to get penalized just because of the fact that we're trying to start a family? That's the message that the NFL is sending. And it's unfair. It's not right. And we're going to see what happens with this case as soon as Golden Tate appeals it. And hopefully he'll win his appeal and you won't have to serve this 4-game suspension. Is it for the regular season? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of time. I love all of you guys. I want to thank all of you for tuning into the show today. So I want you guys to go ahead and go to the Facebook viewer group, to the No BS, No Holds Barred Sports Talk Show viewer group. I want you to go ahead and follow the YouTube page, No BS, No Holds Barred Sports Talk Show. I want you guys to follow my blog on Blogger. I have an article posted because I have a spotlight that I did on Bubba Wallace. And there's also, you go to WBGRSportsNetwork.com to also view this article here as well. So there's 2 places you could look it at if you don't have the opportunity to get to it. So look at that, No BS, No Holds Barred Sports Talk, blogspot.com. Follow me on social media. at insane_Shane29 underground SP29. Follow my Twitter page because I'm going to be tweeting a lot today because I'm going to be looking at a lot of different sports today. Shiz_29, no BS, no holds bar, underground sports LC.com. And then follow me on Facebook at Shane Hector. And if you want to advertise with my show, if you want to have a commercial spots or a couple of shout outs, email me. And I will and we at WBGR and myself, No BS, No Holds Barred Sports Talk, so the No BS team, we will take care of you. So go ahead and email me at undergroundsportsllc@gmail.com. And there is the end of that. The No BS team, the district, DC, Maryland, Virginia. I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in. And, of course, shout out to PA, to any of my folks in Pennsylvania. Shout out to all you guys. Y'all were great. Y'all are some great people. I love y'all out there in especially in the Poconos. So, No BS is out of the building. Peace!
Sports is what we do. It's the fast track at peak speed, moving across the ice, blockers, hitters, B-team, beatdowns, and knockouts, double headers, playoffs, touchdowns, smackdowns, on the mat or on the track, the spirit of a champion. The triple-double. Make that double front flip. This is what we do.